You're watching our State of DCA report. This week we're going to tell you the truth about the Red Car Trolley. We're going to test the new setup at the Cozy Cones, drink a beer, and talk about what we're interested in here at California Adventure. I really should have done this on Jumpin' Jellyfish. And we'll get things started with a vibe check down Buena Vista Street on a late Monday morning. It is 11:29 a.m. as we record this, 59 degrees here on Buena Vista Street. It's going to be a chill day today, as it has been for the past few weeks. But it's no rain, pretty clear skies. It's actually kind of nice. It's one of my favorite, conditions. Not at all hot, nice and crisp and clean. I love a little clouds in the sky too. I don't like a perfectly blue sky for the most part. I do love a little bit of cloud cover. So I'm going to enjoy this afternoon, I think. As for the vibe here on Buena Vista Street, it's pretty standard, pretty normal. Not busy, not quiet. We're just after the park hop period, so there's a little bit more activity here on Buena Vista Street than you might normally expect. I was at Disneyland this morning earlier and it was quite busy, surprisingly so. The vibe here is pretty good, pretty chill. You might be aware, you may have noticed there's a certain lack of something missing. The sight and the sound. That's the Red Car Trolley. Out of commission permanently, in my opinion, although that has not been officially stated by Disney. Last day of operation for the Red Car Trolley was on Saturday, closed on Sunday, and of course today, Monday, the next day, is also closed. We're not going to see or hear the Red Car Trolley at all today anymore. We're going to see the tracks, and we'll see the cables and all that. The place is still here, but no actual Red Car Trolley. It's very reminiscent now of the People Mover, right? In fact, we'll come back to the beginning to let's just get into that, right? Let's just get into this. And the Red Car Trolley, I had promised that we would talk more about, why things are happening the way they did and how there's a little bit more to the story than just the Avengers campus construction, which is the reason why they're closing the Red Car Trolley today. The reason why they're closing it is because they have to demo the barn, the maintenance shed that is backstage behind the Avengers campus headquarters. That's where they park the Red Car Trolley at night. That's where they maintain it, when they need servicing, and they have to destroy that. And in doing so, that means they have to take the red car offline. So the inference with that is that it's not a permanent condition, and that this is only going to be the case for as long as they have to, until they find a new home for the barn, or they find some other way to maintain or to keep up with the Red Car Trolley, find another place to park it. That's the inference, because Disney has not said it's gone forever. It's just that it's gone. That's what's closed. But we're going to tell you that it is gone forever. I believe it will be gone forever, but not because of the barn. The barn, the destroying of the maintenance shed is the reason why they're closing it today. Avengers Campus, and by the way, that's the reason why they have to destroy the barn. The maintenance shed is because they're building the new e-ticket in the same space where that barn exists, right? So in order to build that new e-ticket for Avengers Campus, they have to destroy that barn. That's not the reason, though, why the Red Car Trolley is closing permanently, in my opinion. That's not the reason. It's the reason why they're doing it today, but it's not the reason why it's going to be gone forever. To answer that question, we have to go a little further into DCA down Hollywood Boulevard, which, by the way, look at that. This is the thickest, densest crowd I've seen on Hollywood Boulevard during one of these reports, and as long as I can remember. That was pretty intense right there. That was incredible. But it is this scene here on Hollywood Boulevard, and even more specifically the scene over there at the Hollywood backlot. That's the reason. And I make that distinction, that observation. It's very important in order to help understand why it is that the Red Car Trolley has to be removed, is gone forever. In that discourse, in that conversation about the Red Car Trolley, you hear a lot about well, why can't they move the barn over behind Smoke Jumpers or backstage over there by the Hyperion Theater or some other thing? Why can't they do this or that? And the answer to that question is, yeah, maybe they could, but that still doesn't solve the problem. The answer to that question is they're not going to do that because they don't want to be in the Red Car Trolley business anymore. They don't want to be in the Red Car Trolley business. They don't want to be in the 1920s Hollywood business. This land that we're in right now, the backlot, Hollywood Boulevard, is destined for something completely different. It is destined for, most likely, it sounds like, Avatar. Pandora is coming to DCA. We know that for sure. It's been said, it's been confirmed. We know that Pandora is coming. And the talk, it's heating up that it's going to land here in Hollywood Land. Once you understand that this place, the Hollywood backlot, Hollywood Land, is destined to become a land that is completely foreign to the idea of 1920s Hollywood, then it makes more sense. You start to understand that it's not the barn that's killing. It's not the barn that's killing the Red Car Trolley. It's Avatar, and Avatar is killing not just the Red Car Trolley, but the entire concept, the entire idea of Hollywood Land, of the backlot. So while you can say that the Red Car Trolley is an important part of the placemaking, of the theming of Hollywood Boulevard out here and where we just came from in the backlot, and that's certainly true. This place is not the same without the red car. It absolutely is not. It's the idea that Hollywood itself no longer will exist. Now it's hard to get our heads around that. It's hard for us to visualize that and say, oh, okay, because the backlot and Hollywood Boulevard are still here, and they're gonna be here for a little while. They're gonna be here for quite a while too, actually, because I don't think they're not very far along on developing Avatar, of the new Avatar land. So it's going to be quite a time before we ever get to see or to understand that, visually in the park. To put another way, if they weren't building the Avengers Campus e-ticket, but they were still going to build Avatar, if this was going to still become Avatar in X years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever, they wouldn't have taken down the Red Car Trolley today. The Red Car Trolley going down today is because they are building Avengers Campus. Yes, that's why it's happening today. Once they build the Avengers Campus e-ticket, which will still, that itself is probably going to take about 4 years. Once they build that, then they could conceivably have found another home for the Red Car Trolley, but there's no point in doing that if they know that in a future timeline, they're going to have to take it down anyway. There's no point in building something new and restoring and putting capital expenses into maintaining the red car if they know they're going to take it down anyway in 4 or 5 years when they start building Avatar. It's the same thing for the People Mover and Tomorrowland. They haven't done anything with the People Mover in Tomorrowland, not because they don't want to, but because they don't know what they're doing. They haven't decided, they can't decide what they're doing with Tomorrowland. So there's no reason to put any money into the People Mover. There's no reason to restore it or rebuild it, although I don't think it's possible. There's no reason to do anything with the Starcade. There's no reason to do anything with the Tomorrowland Theater where they had Captain EO. The Innovations building, they haven't done hardly anything at all with that stuff because they don't know what they're going to do with Tomorrowland. They know they're going to do something, and they know that once they decide what that something is, all that stuff is going to get destroyed anyway. So why rebuild a thing if you're just going to destroy it again in a couple years? That's the Red Car Trolley. We'll talk more about the Red Car Trolley when we get to Avengers Campus. I've got a few more points to make there. But before we get into our actual our recon throughout the park, I do want to make one more point about the monorail. And this may or may not upset a few people, but Avatar may also kill that for a little while. Not permanently. They would never get rid of the monorail permanently, but it may take that down. It may take maybe this section of the track or maybe all of it, I'm not sure. I mean, it is a circle, so if you take down one part, you kind of take down the whole thing. But that's a problem. That's a problem for the future Avatar land that they might be building here. Not that a monorail is intrusive in the theme. I can fully accept a monorail existing in Pandora. I feel like, I mean, they've got those giant mechs running around. They've got spaceships. They're turning people into into Pandorian creatures or whatever they are. So no, I don't have a problem with the technology existing on that planet. It's the fact that it's in the way, and you can't build stuff. You can't build anything around that track while it's there. I mean, you could probably leave it up, but you have to take it down, just like they had to take down the monorail while they were doing Parkside Market for a little while. And it would take significantly longer to do that part of it for Avatar. It would take a lot longer for them to build whatever they're going to build. They take down Stage 17, for example. That would take a long while, and so they would have to close the monorail while they do that. Not to mention the fact that there are also probably plans to reroute the monorail as part of, or it could be as part of this project, but also as part of Disneyland Forward. Whole nother conversation that we can get into. I'm kind of thinking about doing a video on that, just what the latest situation is with that. But no, look for the monorail for a little while. And with that, finally, at noon, we can enter Mike and Sully's To the Rescue. Do a little recon here. Posted wait time was 45 minutes. That's the back of the queue you're looking at right there. Oh my, my, my. That's the back of the Lightning Lane queue. I don't like the looks of that. Nor, oh my, it's like 3 shoulders wide over here. Oh heck, and they're posted. They look like they've been there a minute. This is dirty. This is real bad. Yep. This is the back of standby right here. We found that. And it looks like they could. There's one, maybe 2 planters back there worth of chains. You know, one of these, 2 of these like that. Back there at the end. They could probably fit the back of this queue in there, but they haven't. Curious. But this is really bad. That 45-minute is about as accurate as I can imagine. It is not going well here. They just shipped 5 standby. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did this last time, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm going to guess something like 45, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, and he just cut it off. Yeah, he just cut it 43. I figured 45, we got 43, and then he's going to send in a couple more over there. Standby, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went 5, 43, 4, and now he's going to send more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, at least they're moving. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think there's a lot of room in there because it was down. It had a micro shutdown, perhaps. I forget where I was now. 10. We'll call it 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I forgot where I was. 15, 16. And then he's going to stop it there. So 59 to 9. 59 to 9. And that has pretty much done in what we saw out here with the Lightning Lane queue. They were able to process that entire batch, which is about normal. That's what you should expect. Whenever you walk up to a Lightning Lane queue, just assume all those guests are going to go before you if you're in standby. That's a really important, mindset to get into when you're at the parks. Is I know it's frustrating to watch them just send guest after guest after guest, and Lightning Lane are just, God, man, when are we ever going to get our shot? But the sooner that you can come to some sort of acceptance on that, the more pleasant your visit will be. That's if you're staying, if you're going to stick with standby. The good news is that after they process all those guests, once they get everybody out of that queue, then it's all standby. Unless Lightning Lane just keeps coming and coming and coming, which is the case in many attractions, but not necessarily Monsters. I just took a peek in there now, and there was like 4 or 5 guests left in Lightning Lane. So that means, the next couple cycles might be pure standby, which is great. But man, it's a tough wait sometimes. That will leave the back lot, head back out to Hollywood Boulevard. And please do feel free to use your imaginations now at this point to imagine a red car trolley coming down this track. You can see the tracks on the ground. By the way, those tracks are going to stay here. I don't see any reason why they would want to take these out, because as long as this place is still Hollywood, the tracks and the wires and all that still are an important part of the placemaking. The red car is just not here. But these are the Red Car Trolley tracks, and we can actually follow them to our destination, to its destination, that helps understand why it is that the Red Car Trolley has to be removed in order to build the new e-ticket. Over here by Mission Breakout, you can see the tracks continue, and they actually head, which is kind of comical, they head behind those doors here. This is the Avengers headquarters where they do the Avengers Assemble show, and these tracks actually head right backstage. This is where they used to try to imagine that Bugs Land used to be here. Right where we're standing was the entrance to Bugs Land, and they would park the red car right here, right? They would park it right here, and guess what board and deboard just before entering Bugs Land, right where we're standing. There was, you know, it was trees, and then the red car, and then it would go backstage. And they still, every night, those doors open every night, and they park it back there, just on the other side of that wall. Just on the other side of that wall is the barn, the shed, the maintenance shed, where they park it at night. They do all of its daily maintenance. That, as we mentioned, is going to get destroyed. So you can't build anything behind this. You can't build anything behind that without destroying that barn, no matter what they try to do. And speaking of things that are connected, Hollywood Land, the backlot, Avengers Campus, the Red Car Trolley, this building also. Let's just go ahead and add this in there. It's the reason why they haven't done anything with the Hyperion. They're not interested in doing live entertainment, it would seem. Not to this scale at least. But they're not going to do anything with this building because they know that it's probably got a minimal future because of Avatar or whatever else that they're planning to do. Once they decide what they're going to do with the backlot in Hollywood Land, that's going to include the Hyperion Theater. So it's just going to remain dormant like this until they figure it out. And that's the most frustrating thing for me, from my perspective, is that, and from a fan's perspective, is that, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I totally get that. But why has it been decades now? Right? I mean, we've been talking about Tomorrowland 3.0 or whatever number we're on. We've been talking about that for as long as I've been doing this show. 13 years now. And, you know, we've been talking about the backlot and things like that for 10 years or so. The backlot has sucked for 10 years. It has sucked for as long as it's been a thing, right? So what are you doing? Like, make up your mind. Make up your mind. It demonstrates to me a lack of conviction, a lack of confidence, a lack of leadership. And if they had a more decisive plan for the future, we wouldn't be having these conversations. I mean, questioning the value of the red car, questioning why the red car has to go. If they had a solid vision of the future, this wouldn't even be a conversation. While we're here, let's check in on Mission Breakout, which has presently a posted 70-minute standby wait time, which is kind of surprising given I don't really feel a lot of, I don't feel a lot of action out here. There's absolutely nothing happening in Lightning Lane. Standby is there, it's present, but they're not even using the whole queue on the interior portion. Let's cruise around the backside. I mean, I think I know why, obviously. And it's the same story we saw 2 weeks ago. They are down a gantry. Bravo and Charlie are working. Yeah, see, they're not even using the whole queue back there. They're not out here either. So 70 minutes for that size queue suggests that should be a visual cue for you guys. Even if you don't want to spend a couple minutes looking up at the elevators up there to see if they're opening, to see how many are opening, that should be a clue. And that makes things worse in terms of your experience. Like 70 minutes is 70 minutes, right? It's 70 minutes because they're down a gantry. So you shouldn't expect to wait more than 70 minutes because they've already factored that in, right? 70 minutes has already been factored in. Well, it makes it worse because you're moving less often. You're going to spend more time standing there and kind of wondering what's happening and not going anywhere. Hi guys, how are you? It makes for a less enjoyable experience. This is why people love getting on Pirates of the Caribbean. right? Because it's just a go, 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 man. You're just always moving. You just feel like you're accomplishing something when you get in the Pirates queue, but you don't feel that way always when you get into a queue like Mission Breakout, or you get into any sort of queue that's rotationally based. Like Dumbo, for example, or Astro Orbiter, or something like that, Star Tours, where you have to wait for the rotation. We'll head next to Pim Test Kitchen. It is 12:49. Oh, the doors are open for us already. How pleasant. 12:49. It's kind of dead in here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guests in standby. A few guests waiting in Lightning Lane, but this is pretty quiet for 12:49. And especially considering it's kind of busy out there. It's not exactly dead. Head across the way. I mean, see, like there's activity here. Yeah, there's the guy, the Legend of 10 Rings guy. I forgot his name. I'm so bad at this. Iron Man's out holding court. You guys see Iron Man? No, you can't. There's a big bush there. There he is. Good sized crew or queue for the Iron Man meet and greet. Still taking guests. He's very popular. This meet and greet is the most popular one you'll find here at Avengers Campus. Let's pass through Avengers Vault real quick. Do a little vibe check in here. Not quite as dead as it was 2 weeks ago, but still pretty quiet. No troubles at all. I measure crowd density by how often, when you're walking through a space and you have to, do one of those moves to get out of, somebody's coming your way, and you're like, oh, how often are you having to do that? Like, I didn't have to do that at all in there. Head to Web Slingers next. I was just chilling out on that music a little bit. It's very distinctive to Avengers Campus and very different than the music you hear anywhere else, either here at DCA or at Disneyland. Presently it's 55 minutes the standby wait is, and that's a long wait considering the size of the queue that we're looking at right now. 55 minutes. Gosh. Looks like it is back there in the blue bullpen as well. So it's kind of the conversation we were having last week, where you could take that queue and put it over here, and you get a much different experience visually. Like, it tells a different story. So it looks less busy than it is because they have filled up that queue. But it's also this busy because Lightning Lane is a little bit bonkers at the moment. I'm kind of shocked to see. But Web Slingers, you're always looking for a bargain, and well, maybe I'm always looking for a bargain, because as we mentioned, this is not my favorite ride. If it's not, the thing with DCA is that there's not enough to do here where you can say no a bunch of times. Like, how many attractions can you say no to when you're here? Like, I'll pass, let's go do something else. Disneyland, you can do that because there's so much to do. You can take you 4 days to do everything there is to do at Disneyland. Not the case here at DCA. So eventually you're like, okay, well, we still have time to kill. We're still at DCA. Still got time to kill. I guess we have to go do Avengers or Web Slingers now. I just can't justify myself personally spending an hour in that queue. I just can't. Single rider, that's an option. Although you wind up hanging out with a bunch of strangers, which is, that could be interesting. The idea of single rider, I always found it sort of at odds with the single rider experience in some cases. A lot of folks that are going single rider they're going solo. Like I was waiting for that. There's my friend Dallin trying to sneak into my shot. Dallin, how many single rider attractions do you get in? Is that a thing you do?
Oh, every time. Space Mountain, Matterhorn, Web Slingers. I go single rider wherever they offer it. But I'm a tourist. I'm out of town, so.
What are you? I'm shy enough.
Right.
Shy enough?
Sometimes, to a degree.
You're less shy and awkward than I am.
I pretend not to be, yeah.
I can't do single rider on those things.
Really? I'm a big Spider-Man fan, so I love Web Slingers. I think it's better than Toy Story Mania. I say that, people don't believe me.
I mean, that's wrong.
I know, hands free, but
that's true.
I enjoy it. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I might head over there.
Oh, Toy Story.
Toy Story, Web Slingers.
They don't have Sega.
No. Over here though.
Yeah. Looks like it.
I'll go hit some Web Slingers. You ready?
No. I was just telling him I'm not doing that trick.
Come on.
All right, well there you go, guys. Offhand Disney.
Nice seeing you all.
He's here for Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. I just check out the new bride if you haven't yet. She's wonderful.
He's got all the opinions you want to know about Haunted Mansion in general, but he'll have...
And all the opinions you don't want to know about the Haunted
That's
Mansion.
true.
The ones that you never asked for and the ones that you don't need, I have them all.
You're right. All right, well,
hey, thanks for having me. I'll see you all later.
All right. There you go. Surprise, surprise. See, now Dallin is okay with web slingers. It takes all kinds. We're all different. We all have different opinions and sensitivities. Dallin is a Spider-Man fan and a web slingers fan. The more you know. Let's go to Cars Land next, where I am going to mobile order something from the Cozy Cones and eat it and enjoy their new experience that they have there, the new single point of entry experience. Maybe I should go mobile order it. Maybe I should test the standby queue. That's kind of the whole point of the thing, right? Let's go. First things first, though. We'll go check in on Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, where I already know what it's going to look like, but we're going to do it anyway. And that's a pretty standard 15-minute. Hey, all right. Pretty standard 15-minute wait time. But the queue is actually this is the back of the queue. I'm actually in the queue as we speak. That's the back of the queue. And they're using most of it back there, which is kind of surprising. Although even with all these guests, I still do think you can get in there in 15 minutes. It looks more intimidating than it is. People see that and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get in. I'm going to be here all day. That's a very fast queue right there. Very fast queue. Cozy Cones. Oh, it's such a relief to not see these walls here coming through. Gosh, those walls were just such a buzzkill when I try to walk through here and walk by these cones and see what's up. They were such a buzzkill. But now the walls are down, revealing this new point of sale system, where, as we mentioned in our construction report, they can have up to 4 cashiers, which is the case right now. It's maybe a little busy, and that's why they're here. There are 2 stations for standby and 2 cashiers at each station. And I'm gonna wait just a minute. Actually, this is the queue right here. I'm gonna jump right in and place an order, even though I don't know what I want yet. So I gotta tell you, that was kind of adorable in the sense that the cashier who's taking the order speaks to you as though you're making a reservation at the hotel. So he talks up the food you're placing is a reservation, and then he said you're gonna be staying in room number 4. That's where you'll pick up your food, which I did. They don't have a lot of savory treats here, so I'm just kind of going with what they got. We'll see. The cast member was also sure to point out that I need to be getting in the left lane, not the right lane. Left side is pickup, right side is mobile order. I do recommend, even though we did the standby, by the way, I was the first guest in. There was no waiting whatsoever. I didn't have to wait at all. He was waiting for me, if anything, for me to shut up and get over there and place my order. But I do still recommend using mobile order and just showing up here and skipping that altogether. But what's weird, what I'm trying to reconcile right now, is that I guess it's like Hungry Bear. Like, I don't even know if they don't call you. You just get in line. You just said get in line for 4. Like for mobile order, they tell you your food's ready. Come and get it. I think it's just like the Hungry Bear. You place your order, then you go up there and you wait for them to give it to you. I think. Enjoying our chimichanga. That's what I opted for. I'm not sure if I said that or not. Enjoying this at the newly reopened Red's Community Garden. And this is kind of a new experience I did have a churro here once. I was, part of my routine whenever I review food is to look up the thing that I'm eating. I look it up on the app so I can read the description while I show you the B-roll. There's not a lot going on here on this chimichanga. It's just a fried burrito. You could see there's some meat in there and some sauce, and that's about it. As for the description, I'm gonna read everything that they say. This is the entire description for this food item. at the Cozy Cones. Chimichanga. It's $7.49. That's it. We're getting a chimichanga. There it is. Cheers, FreshBaked. Yeah, tastes like a chimichanga. They're right. That is a chimichanga. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted sitting here. We're across the way from Luigi's. And that music is definitely copyright material, so I have to keep talking and jibber-jabbering. We may be going there soon. They had a breakdown, so we might get a break. Went ahead and took this opportunity to imbibe just a bit. This is the Tarantula. It's one of the seasonal items. The Tarantula Hazy IPA. It's going to set me up nicely for the rest of this afternoon. We're about halfway, not quite halfway, so I'll be good to go. So I mentioned, by the way, that it only took a minute to place the order. I was behind maybe 4 or 5 guests, I think, in that queue. It took like a minute and a half per guest. So it's a very efficient operation. You would have spent that minute and a half per guest before as well. The time you save with this new setup isn't in picking up the food, it's in ordering it. And then it's the more convenient situation. That way you can order multiple cones at one time. You still have to pick them up at the other cones, but you don't have to get in each standby line. So I really prefer that as well. I did happen to witness also, while I was standing in standby, that a guest got in the wrong queue. A mobile order guest got into the standby queue to pick up. And that was frustrating for them. So there's still a learning curve for guests here. They try to, they tell you where to pick things up, but there's nobody telling you, if you place a mobile order, there's nobody to tell you you have a separate queue for mobile, although it's kind of understood, right? Everywhere else you go, you kind of know you're not getting in the standby queue, but it's not quite as obvious here at the Cozy Cones. They tell you when you're doing standby, get in the left lane, like he told me, get in the left lane. There's nobody telling you to get in the right lane. But there was a cast, by the way, there was a cast member there who is basically just shouting to anybody listening, any guests here in this queue that were trying to get a mobile order, and somebody raised their hand, like, yeah, she's like, you got to go in the other queue. So they are trying to help you, but it does behoove you to kind of look for the signs and get in the right queue. Let's finish this and get back to work. Speaking of Luigi's Rollicking Roadsters, let's go take a look. And oh my gosh, you see that? 40 minutes. I disagree. I don't think it's 40. 40 would be, I was just going to say, would be at the door over here, which is about where maybe the back of the queue is. I would say it's at least that threshold right there, 40 minutes. And yeah, I guess that is where we have found it. Oh my gosh. Well, I was going to ride Luigi's. I was doing a little recon here, and it looks like we just had a breakdown. And it was just coming off a breakdown. We were parked over there at Red's Community Garden, enjoying our chimichanga, and it looked like they were coming out of a breakdown. So it's broken down twice since we've been in Cars Land. I have no idea what she just said. But I think it was, you can hang out if you want, but you could probably go find something else to do. I'm watching these cast members, and they're going to each vehicle and fastening the seatbelts. They're buckling everything up, which is not a good sign. All the vehicles are parked over on the side like that. This is going to be a minute. Let's move on. Let's go check in on Radiator Springs Racers, I guess, right? Luckily, there's no queue out here so far. I'm going to expect something like 60 minutes. 65, it says up there. I can't put eyes on the back of the standby queue. So that's a good sign for those who are getting a standby. But I can see the back of single rider, which is still, gosh, man, boy, people really love their single rider here on Radiator Springs Racers. These guests you're seeing right here, those are Lightning Lane. These guests in the foreground are single riders. So nobody's, oh, there's standby back there. Okay. So, yeah, this looks like it could be pretty rough for a single rider, actually. Wow. Oh, there it is. I was just about to get in standby to see if I could find the back of the queue, but we have found it. We have seen at the back of the queue, it's just under that first bridge there, the first overpass, so that's not good. Standby on the right and single rider on the far left, both at about the same distance. Boy, that is a solid 65 minutes for sure. You're going to be parked there for a minute. Look at that, more single rider coming in. That is just the way to go on Radiator Springs Racers. Now, I think we talked about this in our last episode about, what to expect from single rider. At this point, now that the back of that single rider queue is at the second, or I should say the first bridge, there's two bridges, this one and then the one after that. Generally, you like to not see the back of the queue. Generally, you prefer, if you can see the single rider queue, then that's not ideal. But it's still better than standby, but you're going to wait. At this point, under that second bridge, you're going to wait 30, 45 minutes, probably somewhere in that range. There is not a single ride at the Disneyland Resort more popular than Radiator Springs Racers. Indiana Jones, Rise of the Resistance, Space Mountain, you name it, Toads. It's popular to me. Radiator Springs Racers is the single most popular attraction, the single most in-demand attraction at the Disneyland Resort. I feel like part of the reason for that might be related to that conversation we had earlier about how there's so few, like how many times can you say no? Like there are a lot of attractions here that just wouldn't appeal to people, like people who like, oh, thanks guys, thank you. Some people don't like spinners. I don't like spinners. Some people don't like, screen rides or things of that nature. So you're automatically like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do silly Symphony swings. It's just not, I can't do it. But Radiator Springs Racers is the one ride here that everybody says yes to. And if you've got, if you've got a whole day planned for DCA, like I recommend for those guests who are getting like a three-day ticket to spend 2 days at Disneyland and 1 day at DCA. I don't like getting the park hopper because you don't get a lot of value for that extra $60, $70 because typically the park hop is going to be spent coming over here. How long are you going to be here? I don't know. How many rides can you get in before you're like, gosh, I want to go back to Disneyland? I don't feel like it's a good value. I don't feel like hi guys. I don't feel like the park hopper is a good value in general. But then, how do you spend a whole day at DCA? You know what I'm saying? You know what you do? I think I say this in an upcoming tip video that I do for first timers. Save your park hopper for the day that you're going to start at DCA. Spend a day here at DCA, get here in the morning, do everything you want to do here at DCA, and then park hop in the afternoon and go to Disneyland. But I don't like starting at Disneyland, spending an afternoon at Disneyland, and then park hopping over to DCA for a couple hours. I don't know, it doesn't work for me. And lo and behold, we have found ourselves deep into the heart of San Fransokyo with a fairly robust standby queue here for Cocina Cucamonga. That is, oh boy, that's got to be 30 minutes at least there. I figure a minute and a half per group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 groups, give or take. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I'm just estimating 13 groups. That's a minute and a half. That's 13, 7. That's actually 20 minutes. That's not too bad. I'm laughing because you come to Disneyland enough times and you can just like, boom, it's just all that data just pops in your head like that. Okay, I know it's 90 seconds. I know it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just count it real quick. If you come here enough or don't come here enough times, come here once or twice a year, but instead spend your afternoons watching FreshBaked and know that you could just take a quick pop, look at Cocina Cucamonga, look at that queue and say that's 20 minutes. That's 20 or 30 minutes. Let's go look at Inkes Cafe. Smells good in here, that's for sure. Queue is not at the door. And it is 2:02 in the afternoon. Man, that smells good. Cooked bread, you know what? That makes me want to go. Okay, we're gonna do a thing, because every now and then, you know, it takes me back to the old days of coming to DCA. I'm talking about the Boudin Bakery tour, of course. But did you know, by the way, it's been a long time, so people may have had time to forget. But this used to, that Boudin, right? Boudin. This used to be a tortilla shop. Oh, hi, hi guys. Instead of getting Ghirardelli's ice cream, it was a tortilla factory. So they had multiple things like this going on. But today I'm just gonna go pop in here real quick to the Boudin Bakery tour, where they have for all time had a friendly cast member handing out sourdough for guests. Hi, thank you. Come to the Boudin Bakery tour, get a piece of sourdough, and look at the conical rounder. The conical rounder is famous. It's not, but I find it humorous. It's such an odd thing. But there it is. There's the conical rounder. It's the machine where he puts the bread. He gets the dough chunker. It creates chunks of bread the correct size for whatever it is that they're making. And then he makes sure it's correct, and then he throws it into the conical rounder, which makes it, I'm going to go ahead and say round. I'm going to assume that is the case. And then they put the round dough in that thing right there. And by the way, this is all real. This is all live. They are actually making bread here. Here we go. He's got his round dough. Oh, wait, there he goes. He's got his round dough, puts the conically rounded dough on those trays. And then some are pressed into the shape of Mickey Mouse, as you can see here, or whatever the seasonal situation is. Others are put into the oven straight away as the round things, because they become your bowls, which are these folks right here. These are, this is just so delightful. They've just baked a whole bunch of those conically rounded breads. Hi guys. And they are carving out the center sections. Look at that. It's just happening. It's like when they make candy on Main Street. This is the same thing. It's magic happening right here before our eyes. And they're going to carve out the center for the sourdough bread bowls, where you get your clam chowder or what have you. Just know, when you get a bowl of clam chowder, either here or at Disneyland, they ship these over to Disneyland. You get a bowl of clam chowder, know that bread bowl that you're eating out of was handcrafted right here at the Boudin Bakery tour. I mean, that's kind of neat, right? That's kind of cool. And it's now time for my favorite part of the journey. Our trip across the San Fransokyo Bridge. Hi guys! Where people take their pictures all day. It's delightful. You know, when I was sitting back there at Red's Community Garden, I was reminding myself of one of the favorite things that I like to observe. I'm a people watcher. And you know, when I come to Disneyland, it makes me happy to see other people happy. That's why I like crowded, busy days, because I know that there's energy and you know, people are feeling good, they're happy to be here. That makes me happy. It makes me happy that people here are picking up whatever it is that Disney's putting down. You know, and but one of the things that the way that is revealed to me is when I'm in an eatery like San Fransokyo or over there by Red's Community Garden from the Cozy Cones, is people getting churros and ice cream treats, soft serve, and everyone's just so happy to be eating whatever it is that's being served to them. I enjoy that. I enjoy that a lot. That's why I love San Fransokyo so much, is because the energy there and sort of the happiness of all those things that are happening. The bread bowl is like, just, I don't know, man. It makes me happy. And we've arrived at our spot where we do the the tip board, but let me also acknowledge and observe one of my other favorite things is people enjoying this space. That's what I'm talking about. People just sitting here on benches. They've got their favorite treats, perhaps from the Lunar New Year celebration. They're just here relaxing, enjoying the scenery, taking selfies. It's one of the most popular selfie spots in the park. Everybody wants their picture here. Gosh, I love this. All right, let's go look at the tip board. Let's get started looking for an attraction. Golden Zephyr is open. It's at 5 minutes, not too bad. Goofy Sky School is closed. Not a good start. Return time at 3:35, but close is not good. Guardians is down to 55. We saw that at 70 earlier. Return time of 8:25 p.m. That's 6 hours from now. Wow, that is a lot. That's kind of standard for Guardians. It's just, like it's kind of like Radiator Springs Racers, like we were just talking about. It's one of the few attractions where everybody says yes, although it's not my favorite. It's hard for me to find rides to do here at DCA sometimes. Incredicoaster is 30 minutes with a return time of now. I would have expected that return time to be a little higher for Indiana or for Incredicoaster. Emotional Whirlwind is at a solid 25. Emotional Whirlwind is 25 minutes. Incredicoaster is 30. I'm looking across the bay there, and it looks like it's kind of busy over there, but we'll check in on that. Jesse's is 5 minutes. Jumpin' Jellyfish is 10. Little Mermaid, 35. Holy heck, I just turned around. I can't really see much. By the way, stay tuned to our next construction report. I have some news on Little Mermaid. I don't want to share it here because I want to save that for our construction report. But 35 minutes is a healthy standby wait time. Luigi's is still closed, so we've just got out of that one. Mater's is at 25. Everybody at Luigi's probably jumped over to Mater's. Sounds reasonable. Monsters is closed. Not good. It sucks when DCA is having closures. It sucks because there's already too few attractions here for the money. Again, this is the same price. It costs the same amount of money to go to DCA as it does at Disneyland. In no way, shape, or form does that make any kind of financial sense. In no way is that justifiable. Disney company, are you listening? There is no way that you could justify charging the same price to go to DCA as you do to go to Disneyland. Disneyland Forward. I'm just going to put this right here while we're talking about it. You go ahead and commit every single square foot of space set aside for Disneyland Forward. Set that aside for DCA, please. Sorry. Had to get on my soapbox there for a minute. Pixar Pal-A-Round is at 30 minutes. I can't see the back of the queue from here, so I don't know how true that is. Radiator Springs Racers is at 60. Return time of now. Redwood Creek is 5 minutes. Stay tuned for our next construction report. I have some possible news to share on that as well. Those construction reports are every Monday. We talk about all the new things that are developing around the park every single Monday. Symphony Swings, 15 minutes. Why do I see a future with me riding that ride today? Because I didn't get to go on Luigi. Soarin' is at 60 minutes. Sorry. Toy Story is 70. Wow, Soarin' is 60 with a 2-turn return time. Toy Story is 70 with a 2.5 hour return time. Wow. There are parts where it's super busy and parts where it's not. Web Slingers is 50 still. God, you know what? People are just showing up. It's kind of busy. I don't even know what is today. I think today is Tier 0. No, today is Tier 2. It's a Tier 2 day today here in February. $142 for the ticket. That's not, wow. I would have expected today to be a 0 or a 1. But Tier 2, by the way, Tier 0 and 1 are the only cheap days. Tier 2, while it sounds like it's low on the scale, right? Tier 2 versus Tier 6. Tier 2 is pretty darn expensive at $142, in my opinion. Going back to our previous conversation, by the way, as I segue up these steps, that's why I love food festivals. That's why I love Food and Wine, Lunar New Year, festival holidays, because there's so much, like, people are just curious and they want to come here and sample whatever foods are happening at these booths. It's such an adventure, it's such a vibe during these times when people have an opportunity to just try things. I love trying things. Absolutely love experiencing new experiences. That's how we grow. That's how we learn. That's how we become more than we were. You become more than you were before by having new experiences, trying new things, doing things you've never done before, stretching yourself a little bit. That's how you grow. That's why I love it. It makes you just a different person than you were when you started that journey. Stop and catch a view that we don't normally enjoy. I like going across that bridge. My favorite part of the journey, going across that bridge, leaving San Fransokyo. But this is kind of neat too from this angle, seeing the bridge from here and seeing the sign and everybody. Hi guys. Seeing everybody enjoying Cocina Cucamonga over there. Well, I guess they're probably sitting here from Aunt Kat's Cafe as well, or even Lucky Fortune Cookery. San Fransokyo is great. It really is great. I love food courts. It's it's just, again, it's a place that, you walk around and you say, what interests you? You're not stuck to a choice. You don't have just one choice. You have 3 choices. You have 3 choices at San Fransokyo, which I think is great. Let's go to Pixar Pier.
Head back, face forward, and hold on!
They send one of these trains every 30 seconds. So cool. When this attraction is operating at its most efficient levels, you could just sit here all day and just watch these trains come in every 30 seconds or so. And this, again, it's like being able to empathize. I could put myself in the seats of all those guests in the vehicles there with the anticipation of that launch. It's quite a moment. This whole scene right here is quite a moment. I've really grown to love this part of Pixar Pier. I used to, shake my fist at it. I'm like, it's not Disney. This isn't what Walt wanted. It's the opposite of Walt wanted. But this isn't Disneyland. This is a whole other park, and you got to appreciate it for what it is. Here they are again, 30 seconds later. Almost exactly.
Hold on! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And then there's that thrill, that launch. And then you go up the little tube. That's so great. It's so great. I get it, man. I get it. People just having fun, going on rides, eating food, drinking drinks. It's a day, man. It's so great. It's so good. That's why we're here. And that is the back of Single Rider. Just to give you a little reference, there's the sign. A bad single rider queue is when you get to Coco. So this isn't too bad. But, usually these queues, these lengths of queues are usually commensurate with what's happening at Standby. Although, Standby is looking a little hot to trot right now. Or should I say hot to go, depending on... Anyway, at this time of day, considering the 30-minute wait time, I would not have expected to see guests here down there. I would not have expected to see that. But the queue does look to be pretty brisk. A lot of movement here. I like to see that. I like to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 of these switchbacks are in some state of movement. Some more so than others, but you like to see that. What you don't want to see is one lane moving and the rest still. That one's moving up there too. 6 is moving. I mean, it's all moving. And that's because there's nothing happening back there with Lightning Lane. Not much is happening. So these guests are just going to be in this little pen down here for a few minutes. I would love to do another race. One of these days I'll have to do a real race, single rider versus standby. I mean, I think you might save 5-10 minutes with single rider. But then what I like about standby, the reason why I like going standby is because I like to be in the queue, first of all. I like experiencing the queue. Even though there's not much to experience here at Incredicoaster, but I still want to experience the queue. But also I get to pick my seat. You can pick front row, back row, whatever. You can't do that with single rider. Yeah, so they're still posted at 30 minutes here at 2:27 in the afternoon. And know that, yeah, if you get single rider, hi guys. When you get single rider, you're probably not going to be first row or back row. You're going to be somewhere in the middle, most typically. Not much happening here. As we observed over there at Lightning Lane, it's just a smattering of guests. kind of a nothing story there at Incredicoaster, so we'll keep things moving. Jesse's, it's always a go if you're ever interested. I never really talk about Jesse's, but yeah, it's always a go. Never a no-go, always a go, if you want to go. If you say, hey, I'm interested in riding Jesse's Critter Carousel, the answer is always yes. Always. Things here out in front of Toy Story Midway Mania, sir, are getting a little crowded. Let's go see what the queue looks like the actual queue at Toy Story. And my goodness, do we have a scene developing here. Look at this. We've got a 70-minute, it's gone up to 70 minutes here for Toy Story Midway Mania. And it's all very present and obvious right here in this standby queue. That is the fullest that I've seen this exterior queue in quite a while. We come here, we come through here at least, once a week? And yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it look this busy. And that's in conjunction with a fairly robust Lightning Lane queue. That's pretty busy there as well. So there's a lot of competition here at Toy Story Midway Mania. Going back to our previous conversation once more, the reason why Toy Story is always so consistently busy, Radiator Springs Racers is so consistently busy, is because there are so few opportunities to say no. And if you're going to spend a day here, you have to say yes to something. You're going to say yes to Toy Story, no matter what the conditions are. So, in some ways, it's kind of pointless. Like, how do you just get in the queue, I guess, right? Just get in. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to wait for just the right moment? I don't know. I mean, I suppose you could go ride the Fun Wheel or the Emotional Whirlwind, but some people don't like that because it's a spinner. Doing Incredicoaster twice? I don't know. But, at some point, you have to say yes. And that's why there are certain attractions that are just always yes. That right there, man, that is one robust standby queue. These guys are in for it just a little bit. One of the things you could do to pass the time while you're waiting to see if you can outlast that standby queue at Toy Story is play these Midway games, or the Boardwalk games, but at $5 per game, $5. It gets kind of expensive, especially when you can not win anything at all. You can lose completely. And it's no wonder that, most of these games are completely empty. The one game that is busy right now is Luna. But that's an automatic win. Luna, you can't lose, but you can lose this one. You can lose this one, and you can absolutely lose Bullseye. Or no, this one. This one. Heimlich's is probably the hardest game. Trying to get one of those stupid things through through Heimlich's mouth is damn near impossible. And I think you have to get more than one. That's why I don't do these games. But I just counted maybe 3 guests playing out of all 4 of those stops. 3 guests playing. Those are way too expensive for what you get out of it. And the game itself only lasts a couple minutes, if that. The diversion doesn't last very long. And that brings us to Pixar Pal-A-Round. My home for the next ever, for the rest of my life. As we've mentioned in previous updates, I'll be on this thing once a week, probably for as long as, for a decade maybe. We got 30 minutes posted for both non-swinging and swinging gondolas. 30 minutes both. One is kind of a bargain, or I should say, well, actually no, I take that back. Neither one of these is a bargain. The swinging gondolas out here, that's a pretty decent sized queue. That's a 30-minute queue. And anytime you get around that corner on the non-swinging side, you're in for a bit of a wait, which can be excruciating. There will be times where you're just standing there doing absolutely nothing. But yeah, I prefer to get that down there to that corner. But some days you just don't have a choice. And this is a good-sized diversion where you're spending $5 for 60 seconds of escape on the Boardwalk games when you're trying to wait out the Toy Story queue. You're going to wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes at Pixar Pal-A-Round. So you are definitely taking a full-on break, a definite opportunity for that queue to wind down. It works. Oh my. Okay, so obviously we're at Emotional Whirlwind next. This might be the most audacious posted wait time I've ever seen for any attraction ever. 45 minutes. And I mean any attraction ever. There's no justification for this attraction to be 45 minutes. You can wait less time right now for the Matterhorn. You know what I'm saying? Like, Emotional Whirlwind does not warrant a 45-minute queue, although it's probably not. This is, I mean, I have not seen the queue out in this space for a long time. This is kind of shocking me a little bit. I'm kind of tripping out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of like, it's sinking in a little bit as I observe this, that it shouldn't be like this, not ever, not for Emotional Whirlwind. But here we are, 45 minutes. It's probably not. It's not 45. I'm gonna say if that's 15 down to that ramp, kind of double that there to 30. I mean, maybe, gosh, it could be. Oh boy, really want to ride Emotional Whirlwind if you're gonna get in that thing for 45 minutes. Ay, ay, ay. Which brings us to Silly Symphony Swings, and actually, rather than just eyeball this, I think, my God, it is busy down here. When is the last time we've seen the queue even just down the stairs? Anytime we're here, we're like, okay, it's maybe at the top of the stairs, bottom of the stairs kind of situation. But we're in 3 rotations here. So it's looking like it's gonna be a solid 20 minutes. We're in at least 3 rotations. That one just let out there. Let's start the clock. My observations say 1 rotation upstairs. The second rotation is down the stairs and maybe to the bottom, I'm not sure. And then anything out here, you're starting in your 3rd rotations, figure 6-7 minutes per rotation on the high side. So we're looking at 20 minutes probably. But if we can, we've just got in the queue. We've been in the queue now for just about 2 minutes, and we're already about to go up the stairs. So it may not, it'll probably be less than 20. And there we go. Yeah, we're up the stairs in, or already at 2 minutes. So just being here halfway up the stairs, it tells me 2 rotations. But it would be no more than 2 rotations. They're loading one up now. That one will be done. Oh gosh, they haven't started that one yet though. So 4 minutes for that. Plus the next cycle, 7 minutes. You know, I guess we'll find out. I haven't really timed launch to launch here ever, so we'll do a little session on that. Maybe 15, 16 minutes total. Just about 8 minutes in, we're going to be in the next boat, and this one is launching, which makes the full cycle about 5.5 minutes. So all you'd have to do is just do the math and count how many people you could fit on one of these. And then you can multiply that by 5.5 minutes to know how long it'll take if you know how many people are in the queue. Eyeballing that, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, I don't even know. 40? Maybe 40 guests? I don't know. All I know is we're next. I don't know, I gotta count. All I know is we're next. And all in, not even 15. We're going 10 minutes to our quote-unquote vehicle, although it's gonna take another 3 or 4 minutes to launch this sucker. But nonetheless, we're getting in our seat in just over 10 minutes. Oh, they launched without music. Okay, there we go. All right. Every single time I get on this ride, I regret it. Every single time. And every single time when it's over, I'm so very grateful. Thank you, thank you.
Stay seated until your silly symphony swing comes to a complete stop. Then lift the lap bar, collect your belongings, and walk to the nearest station. We hope you'll come swing again soon with our silly symphony.
Don't count on it. I'm gonna have to wind down a little bit right now. We're gonna go to Paradise Garden. Man, that always takes a little bit out of me, that ride. Silly Symphony. It's such a simple thing, but I just do not like that sensation. I'm sorry, I just don't know how to do it. I don't. And it's funny because whenever I try to do one of those sort of every ride in a day, or speed runs or something like that, man, I am wrecked wrecked by the end of the day because there's Silly Symphony, there's Maters, there's Mission Breakout. Don't like that sensation either. I know I'm missing one. Toy Story spins you around. Oh yeah, it's rough on me here. We're arriving here, by the way, at Paradise Garden Grill at 3:10 in the afternoon, so I'm not expecting a lot of action in standby for food. But look at, there's a good-sized queue of guests waiting to meet the next character here. That could be one of the legacy characters, could be Mushu, who knows? But there's quite a lineup. They don't say, it just says meet your Disney friends here at 10:30, but it doesn't say which character's next or what your possibilities might be. But Mushu is a pretty common guest or a character to meet here, or that people want to meet. Liz and I met Mushu 2 years ago, and he's great. He really is a lot of fun. Liz got into it too. Hey guys. Yeah, Liz got into it. He's a lot of fun. Mushu is. Lunar New Year is great. Guys, Lunar New Year is great. I haven't talked about this the whole time because it's been around for, what, 3 or 4 weeks now? 3 weeks? It's wrapping up soon. But if you don't get to Lunar New Year, you guys got to try it at least once. It's great. Looks like Jumpin' Jellyfish is looking good. Easy go situation here. Anytime you see them loading both sides, left and right of Jellyfish, are good. You're never going to have too much of a wait there, even if it looks like it could be a while. What you want is 2 Jellyfish going. Turn around, pivot to Goofy Sky School next with a posted wait time of 50 minutes, which is very, very healthy. That's they're getting work done, and a lot of it has to do with Lightning Lane, which presently is sticking out the outside of the queue. I can't even get into frame. There's so many guests getting into Lightning Lane. That's very sticky. Look at this queue. That is so deep right there, and those guests look posted. Whenever I say posted, and I know I mentioned this a few times, but I like to clarify for those guests who are new or those viewers who are new. When I say posted, I mean leaning up against the rails, sitting on the rails, sitting on the ground. Like they are not moving and they're taking a rest. Okay. They're chilled. They know they've just been standing there for a little while. You never want to see that. You never want to get the idea that these guests have been standing there for so long that they feel compelled to sit on the ground. If you observe nothing else, always be wary of guests sitting on the concrete. If you see guests sitting on the ground, I mean, that's on you at that point. It's on you. Like, you're just going to decide. That's good. That's your future. You have said yes to sitting on the ground. You have said yes to not moving for a while. I assure you, they're not just randomly sitting on the concrete. There is a reason they're sitting on the concrete, and that's because they've been standing there a while. Not a good thing. I'll tell you what though, man, as we come up to Golden Zephyr, it is busy today, you guys. DCA is happening a little bit again, just like last 2 weeks ago. We got a queue down here. We got a queue happening at the Golden Zephyr. It is not just straight up the stairs and into your not golden flying machine. Hi. They're down here, man. They're down here. That's a couple rotations at least. And there you go. We saw 35 minutes for Little Mermaid on the tip board, and here it is out here. I would love to find out. You know what? I wonder if we could just kind of real quick. I want to know. That's not a lot. That's just 2 switchbacks. Yeah, that's only a couple minutes. I always thought this would be like a huge indicator, like a huge extra weight, but it's really not. That's just a couple minutes. The extra weight is going in these, when you're under the sea back here, quote unquote, because they've got little plants that remind you, like Ursula's hair and all that stuff. They kind of give you the sense that you're under the sea here. It's that part down there that's the extra weight. Wow, 35 minutes. Hi guys. That is something for Little Mermaid. But you know, the more I think about it, the more I think that this ride deserves it. Little Mermaid deserves it more than some other rides. It's a good ride, and we need more rides like that here at DCA. We need more dark rides. We need at least one more dark ride. This is a good ride. Little Mermaid is good. Even though it's a book report, it's still good, and it's a nice break. It's a great break in a lot of ways. It does the job it's supposed to do, what a dark ride is supposed to do. I said earlier that I have some information on Little Mermaid that I was going to save for the construction report, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it here a little bit. I've been wondering what the holdup is. These walls have been up for months, right? Months, like a while. And at first I thought it was ADA. And I think there is still an ADA component of what's happening here. They're trying to make sure it's ADA compliant. But it's my understanding that they're actually creating a new lightning lane entrance for Little Mermaid. They don't want guests coming in the entrance. It gets a little busy out there out front. It gets a little busy out here out front, plus there's often some confusion. Everybody enters through this point, right? Standby and lightning lane. And then when it comes time to split the queues, I see this all the time. People don't know which lane to get into. They just get in the wrong lane. It happens all day. So I feel like even though they spent all that time creating this situation here, they closed the whole attraction just to build that. It didn't work. Now, I'm not 100% on this, because it doesn't make sense because they just did that thing. But that's my understanding, is that that's why they're doing this. We'll talk about that more in a little bit more detail in our Monday construction report. If you're not already watching that, please do, because that's the kind of stuff we talk about for 30 minutes straight every single Monday, is all the little different construction projects that are happening around the park, both parks, including operational stuff. We get on the Pixar Pal-A-Round and we're looking at what's going on backstage at Avengers campus for the new e-ticket. I hope you guys can join us for those. Meanwhile, look at the scene on the little corridor from Pixar Pier to Grizzly Peak. Wow. This is very impacted. Are they all trying to get the macaroni? No, it's not macaroni and cheese. That was Festival of Holidays. Are they all trying to get the banh mi, or no, I'm sorry, the pho dip. That's what it was, not the banh mi, the pho dip, or the fried lemongrass chicken dumplings. Guys, Lunar New Year, look at this queue. Look at that. That's outstanding. That's great. You never saw that for Pixar Fest. Pixar Fest did embarrassingly bad. Very embarrassing. More embarrassing even than the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. Let's take a quick walk through Redwood Creek. I like to go through here just to kind of wind down. As I wind down the show, I wind down my head as well. This is always a little bit of peace and quiet for me. I do cherish and love peace and quiet, and you get a little bit of that here. You hear that? Yeah, crickets. You see that? There's news happening here at Redwood Creek. I'm waiting for more information, but Redwood Creek is going to be closing soon, and I thought it would be related to the updates that are happening at the Grand Californian, which are extensive. Grand Californian is going to be going through a major refurb, major update, but so too is Redwood Creek. It just went through one, closed for quite a while as they were getting, I think they were trying to permanently add some features for Villains Grove, and but there's something on the calendar that's coming up, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. I'm not. It could be related to Grand California, but I feel like it's not also. So stay tuned to our construction updates on that as well, as I try to learn what's happening here at Redwood Creek. But something is, and it's not Avatar. We can put that out there right now. Absolutely, I'm positive. Redwood Creek is not going to be the home of Avatar. That is out. Yeah. Love a little banjo. Gosh, I love Redwood. Makes you want to be 6 years old again, doesn't it?
Why is it always me?
Oh, I don't see it. Okay, then. I do. I also am like that.
And that's a frog eating a moon. Grizzly River Run is still closed and will be closed for a little while still. Probably until March at least, I'm guessing. We were through here a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. We saw a cat, the first cat we've seen at Grizzly Peak in a long time because Fransokyo, I'm pretty sure, has passed. And I can't remember, for some reason, I can't remember what Fransokyo, the other cat here, it was Fransokyo and another one. But it's been a long time since I've seen either one, so I'm pretty sure either they have passed or moved, to another spot. Maybe they got adopted or something. But we saw our first new cat here, and he looked like he was exploring something new. But Disneyland cats used to be a huge thing. They had their own Instagram page. Well, they still do, I guess. But you don't see posts or I haven't spotted one in a long time. The cat that lived over there by the Magic Key Lounge, next to Little Mermaid. No, is that right? Next to, yeah, I think that's where it is. I can't, my brain. No, next to Sonoma. Yeah, something like that. There was a cat that lived over there. I haven't seen the cats that live in Frontierland. I haven't seen any of those for a long time either. So they've gone. The cats are gone, except for that new one. Right here, this is where you would have met Fransokyo and his friend, whose name I cannot remember, and I feel really bad about that. Right here is where you would have found him. In this little vicinity right there. He just kind of stayed in that one little spot. I mean, we're talking a year and a half maybe. Nothing. All right, guys. Last stop of the day. Here at Grizzly Peak, and that's soaring around the world. Man, that looks beefy. That's the back of the queue right over there. Not quite around the corner as we saw it a couple weeks ago, but it's looking very intense, very dense. Let's see. Yeah, they've also got it. They're not just, I want to say there are 5 switchbacks. 1, 2, 3, no, 4. I can't tell. I have to see it from the other side, but normally they just do the inside ones, but they've got the outside switchbacks full too, and then it's down that way, so they're calling it 50 minutes. Good day, man. DCA is just busy today. Let me think, where have we seen breaks? We saw discounts at the Credit Coaster. And take care. That's right. Oh my gosh. For real. I'm just winding everything back. Every single attraction that we hit. Monsters Inc. Longer than typical. Mission Breakout. Longer than typical. Web Slingers. Longer. Going around. Mater's was longer. Luigi's was closed. Radiator Springs. Okay. It wasn't a discount, but it also wasn't terrible either. Around the corner. The Credit Coaster was a pretty decent discount. That was the one break you got today. Toy Story was 70, or was it 60 or 70? Emotional Whirlwind was intense, crazy. Silly Symphony, we saw it, there was a switchback at the bottom. We got in the queue, it was still only 10 minutes, but it was twice the size it normally is. Goofy Sky School, an hour. Little Mermaid was 30 minutes. And that's all. Wow. Across the board, busy day, right? That's the only thing we could say. Busy day. You can see out here too at Carthay Circle. Huge queue of guests waiting to meet Minnie Mouse. Wow, 5 and dime play. They're fantastic.
Over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade.
Quick favor, everybody, as we wind things down. We've got a whole other channel called Tours Departing Daily where we're doing acoustic walkthroughs in the park. I talk a little, but mostly it's just enjoying the sights and sounds. I hope you guys can watch that. There's a link right here. Check that show out and all the others that we have on that channel as well. Tours Departing Daily. Thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. FreshBaked.